What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the award-winning Nintendo podcast, backed by 120 Power Star rating, and the doors to episode 115 are open. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my best buddy by the name of Bryce DeWitt.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you going?
Good, good. Why'd you write poop on your phone?
I don't know. I was trying to gauge something out of you, but you didn't pay attention, so...
You just like showing off your new stylus, don't you?
No.
No.
I just wanted to write poop. Leave me alone.
Okay. And sharing the microphone with Bryce is our good friend returning to the show, Daniel Tredra. How we going, my friend?
I'm quite swell. How are you tonight on this rather chilly evening?
Yeah, I was about to say, Dan, I know you're excited to be on the podcast, but why are you swell? You're sitting next to Bryce. That's a bit wrong. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't you be swell sitting next to this man?
I mean, I've gotten used to it. You know, episode 1, I was pretty swell, but you know, you get used to it.
You certainly were getting swell, weren't you?
So
another reason to be swell. It's time to crack a furphy.
Yeah, okay. So we're having a beer here. You know, Dan's brought the furfies, so we'll have a beer.
Appreciative of Dan bringing the furfies.
Yeah, they're cold in a can. We don't usually have cans, do we? We usually have stubbies.
Not very often.
Yeah, but you know, we actually crack a can, so it probably makes a bit more sense. I think Dan's actually bringing some common sense to the podcast.
I thought I was on the Patreon exclusive podcast this week. Cracking furfies. You
might be. If you're lucky enough.
If it happens.
Yeah, that's right. So this week on the show, we're going to be talking about... it's going to be a pretty loose show, I reckon. We're just going to have some fun on that. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Tokyo Game Show, how Sakurai's speech there and some of the awards Super Smash Bros. Ultimate picked up. A little bit of Pokemon news, and a little bit of this and that. But apart from that, it's going to be a pretty basic show. Yes. Yes, he says.
Yes.
Maybe
a dabble of 45-minute retrospective on Ring Fit Adventure. There you go.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, there's the Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start off with what we've been playing. Dan, you've been playing a boatload of Fire Emblem.
I have. If you have seen in the Discord, I've been chiming in.
So who are you in the Discord, just for people who are like...
D Treadray 45, the guy with no avatar.
Yeah, that's right. You're the one with no avatar. Yeah.
Mr. Basic.
If everyone has an avatar, nobody has an avatar.
True. So you've put over 100 hours into the game. You've played through it once. You're on your second playthrough.
I started with the Black Eagles. Finished that surprisingly early, to be honest. Like 55 hours, but I wasn't expecting the last chapter.
Oh, really? Well,
to be the last chapter, and I was a bit underleveled. I've gone past the time skip with the Golden Deer. Few chapters post time skip. And then I'll probably play through the Blue Lions if I have time.
Because I've like a few of our friends, like Ash, he's on his like second playthrough. I know a fair few people on their second playthrough, and I'm just like, holy shit, I've barely even played the game, let alone on my second playthrough.
For context, I've put in more time to Fire Emblem than Drew has for Smash Brothers.
Yeah, he has. He actually has. I put about 75 hours into Smash Ultimate.
What?
And he's put over 100 into Fire Emblem.
What?
Which kind of blows my mind, but I guess I can always play more Smash Bros, you know?
That's all I've been playing. On
Smash.
My Switch, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Banjo, bro. Yeah. Other than that, Borderlands 3, I guess.
Yeah. So, obviously, Borderlands 3 isn't on Switch, but what's your first impressions and how you been enjoying the game?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is I missed out on the pre-sequel because, to be completely honest, I didn't really care at the time. But every time a new Borderlands game comes out, it does feel technically better every time it leaps. It's not like jarring. It's just the same thing, but even better than before, I guess. And it's very much like this now.
Yeah.
So, but the cast of characters, since obviously it's been 3 games now, is huge. Well, I mean, technically 4 if you count Tales of the Borderlands before 3.
Yeah.
And there's characters from Tales in there, so, you know, I guess it's chock full of dialogue. Your characters speak now, which they never really did before, unless you saw them in the next game as NPCs. So there's a lot more flavour and context. It's brilliant. I'm enjoying my time with it. And it's a shame because I have so many games that I still need to finish.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. Especially like this is the crazy month, or not the crazy month, the crazy week now. We're coming up to the 20th, which is the Switch Lite, Link's Awakening, Untitled Goose Game, Ni no Kuni, all on the 20th, let alone everything else that's coming up. And especially with the what was it called? The fitness ring?
Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah, Ring Fit Adventure. And now they just like dropped that for October as well. It's like, all right, it's not a game I'm going to be picking up, but it's just like another thing they just randomly pick up and drop on us.
What are you talking about? And I thought that'd be your first choice for next month.
Game of the year, Ring Fit Adventure, lock it in.
But like, I really enjoy how Nintendo's just, they're the type of company that's like, hey, they just drop a trailer. It's all these people just waving this ring about. It's like, oh, cool, more news coming at the end of the week. And it's like, all right. Then they bring it out. Oh yeah, it's a
it's an adventure game.
It's an aerobics ring. You can stretch and you can play an RPG and level yourself up. And it's like, cool. And at first I was like, you know what, it would be, because I want to get sort of back into fitness. I want to start going for runs and all that. And I was thinking like, well, maybe like this type of game would be sort of a good way to encourage me to, like, you know, do like sit-ups and all the boring things. Like going for runs is easy. You put music in and it's sort of easy to do that. But being motivated to do sit-ups and push-ups and that, it's like, nah, that's no fun. That's just hard work. But putting it into an RPG, I'm like, oh yeah, that could be an idea. But when the price came out, 120 Australian, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
We were discussing this last night. Like, half that price is what I would pay for that. Like $60 Australian, not 120.
Yeah. I mean, 60 is a bit, you know, realistically, like, for them to make money out of it, it's not going to be 60. But
$20 for the piece of plastic, $40 for a bare bones game.
I think like 90 to 100, we're like, all right, you know, it's still pretty expensive. That's still $90. And we were talking on an earlier episode when they like showed off this initially, that it just being a ring. So, that could be a pretty cost-effective way to get a new sort of input method into the house and do whatever they need to do for the game. But you know, we were thinking about 80 to 100, but with this being 120, it's, I don't know. Depends how good the game is. Like, just from like a graphics point of view, it actually looks really gorgeous. Just with like the protagonist running through the world and all that, like it looks really nice and like cell shaded. And I was like, wow, this actually looks pretty graphically nice. But yeah, just a bit too much. And like, I guess it's not really aimed towards us. I know you're a fitness connoisseur, Bryce, but
oh, absolutely, yeah. The ergonomics of this plastic ring really get me gaudy, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I really want to know more about this giant ring and this ankle bracelet, because for some reason it's something I need in my life, just like the Wii Fit board, I guess. No. No. It's I mean, sure, if you're feeling that way, but I feel like there's a really hard bridge gap between selling a fitness peripheral and trying to incorporate that into an RPG setting. Like, I get it. What you're trying to do is trying to get those fat, lazy people off the couches who don't do anything but play JRPGs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I know what you're saying.
But honestly, if the game would have to be pretty stellar to get people to give a shit about it. So if you're not going to be like Persona level type of JRPG, it's not really going to sell.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Phenomenally.
Could you imagine if it's like a 100-hour RPG and like by the end you just absolutely ripped? Oh my god! I want this game to end. I'm
grinding.
My lactic acids are burning.
You know what this game reminds me of, though?
What?
The Street Pass Quest from 3DS.
Oh, yeah.
With a fitness peripheral.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like the similar team working on it.
Yeah.
Seems like one of those projects, yeah.
But yeah, it's just sort of like, when you try to incorporate this sort of thing with that sort of thing, you pretty much have to be selling a product that's like phenomenal. It's going to blow everyone out the water with like, you know, huge implications on what makes a JRPG, or you know, but it's definitely not going to.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be very basic, bare bones RPG with a peripheral that wraps around your ankle and a giant ring in your hands, which, I mean, means it's probably going to not be very storytelling.
Yeah.
We say that now, but what if it comes out and it just completely changes the landscape of video gaming?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, it totally will too.
Yeah, just
I
everyone's...
have every faith in Ring Fit Adventure that it is going to reinvent the conventions that we've taken from like Persona 5 and, you know, Xenoblade Chronicles and, you know, I have a feeling it's just going to absolutely kill it.
Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Ring.
God.
I do appreciate how Nintendo hasn't just like thrown away everything sort of they've learnt from the Wii generation though. Like, I am happy that games like Breath of the Wild and all the Mario games and all these sort of more gamer focused games are at the forefront, and these are like Labo and Ring Fit Adventures as in the background.
Yeah.
And they're still doing them, and they're still like trying to throw stuff out there to get a different audience to come into Switch.
Yeah.
I still do appreciate that, but yeah, I guess that's just, you know, we've already done that. We've played many Wii games, Wii Fit, Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort. We've done all that. And, you know, I don't feel like I have to go back and do this type of thing. But I do hope it works for them, and they sort of have like a second revenue stream and different audiences that come into the Switch and bolster the system, because you know they're not going to get to 100 million or 80 million just from people like us who are like, yes, I'm going to buy one. It's going to be like all these different people, kids with the Switch Lite and all these different sort of markets they could break
People
into.
looking for a party game system.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, video game consoles are primarily sold to gamers. So going off a gimmick doesn't really work. You know, you have to sort of cater for that market first, then trickle in everything else in the background, which is why the Switch is succeeding like it is in that category. Of course, with the Switch Lite coming out, there are games that are not going to be able to utilize those functions correctly, and I think this game's probably going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Well,
it doesn't have a Joy-Con, so...
Well, no, yeah, but you can go buy a Joy-Con and then you can insert it in there because it can still connect Joy-Cons. But the problem is like, I remember there was like a list that come up on Nintendo Prime or something. It's like a list of games that require additional Joy-Con or, you know, need TV mode to work and whatever. And the list was very bare bones. It's just like, most games will work. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be very easily playable.
Yeah.
You know, by the time you like sat down and you bought, I don't know, Smash, and you want to play with several people, you're going to have to buy a new set of Joy-Cons, and that already ramps up your price and stuff like that. It's really not geared for multiplayer, so that kind of scratches that off the list if you're just looking for a cheaper Switch option. You know, and people are like, local wireless, and don't get me started.
Don't get him started, folks. Anyway, let's end sort of this conversation with if you're playing Ring Fit Adventure and you get a bit of chafe on your hands from using that ring, I wonder if that would be called Ring Sting. Just saying. Don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. So Nintendo filed a patent for a hinged Joy-Con. This news came out sort of last week, but we missed it. And it's just like a patent for a Joy-Con that sort of folds up the top between the buttons and the analog stick. It's able to sort of be folded down a bit. Don't know. Maybe for comfortable, maybe for something else. I mean, you guys seen this?
Yes.
Yes.
I have not seen it.
It is very strange. Drew can show you while I'm talking about it.
I'm not game the wise.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Look, I'll tell you what. He'll Google it. All right.
Google it, Dan.
He's got a phone. He can Google it. We're in this generation. I don't know why this exists, and if it's actually going to be a thing. But just thinking of it from like the technical standpoint, it's like, oh, it'd be more comfortable. It's like, yeah, sure, but then you like got to reach your thumbs over to hit the stick, which means you're tilting the screen back more because it's a handheld console. So wouldn't your screen then be at a weirder angle than usual? It just doesn't feel like it would be as malleable with just like using your wrists in a different way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure why they're considering a redesign of the Joy-Con like this.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be for something like a Switch Pro or sort of a new model that's coming out. It's like a bit different shape or something.
Like, I hope not. I just want a better Switch. That's it.
What about you, Dan?
Why?
Yeah.
Why not?
This is a very bizarre controller.
It's the angle
setup.
they're on, right? The angle. Like, you can see it. The angle's very, very sharp.
Yeah, I don't really see what benefit that would give.
No.
Don't know. It might
Unless they're like trying to set something up for a specific game, but then again, why?
It might be like it's angled down. It's kind of like the same angle you would have if you're holding like a nunchuck from the Wii. So maybe it's like made to like fit like a gun peripheral or slide into something that isn't like a Switch, but it might be, you know, another peripheral like this Ring Fit Adventure Ring. It might be something. It might be a gun for some sort of game they've got coming out or something. Yeah.
Maybe, but I feel like the difference between the nunchuck and that is the nunchuck doesn't have buttons down the bottom side of the controller.
Yeah.
And this the way this thing looks, it looks like it'd be really annoying to move your hand from the
Not very ergonomic.
No, not at all.
Well,
I disapprove greatly of the ergonomics.
Well, it's only showing them really for... Oh, it is showing for both. But, like, for the left side, you'll be ignoring the D-pad pretty much. And with the buttons sort of folded down, you've got access to the buttons on your right side. So...
Well, D-pad still has uses. Like, you still use it in Breath of the Wild and all that stuff to scroll through your weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like... I know that the D-pad on the Joy-Cons in general is not great, but it's not so bad that you have to remove them from line of sight of the thumbstick completely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep throwing it out there because
You know what you're saying?
I'm going to keep throwing that out there because I know it makes you laugh.
All I can hear
You know
is...
what I'm saying?
There's this Weird Al sort of parody interview on YouTube from years ago with Eminem, and basically what it is he gets an interview from celebrities, in this case Eminem, and he recreates the background and he edits in sort of his questions and pulls out sort of quotes from them to sort of
fit the interview.
Yeah, fit the interview.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
they just get a bunch of Eminem saying, "You know what I'm saying," and there's Weird Al going, "I know what you're saying." You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying. And eventually it's like, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. He's just like yelling it out. It's really funny.
Yeah.
So that's what, whenever Bryce says, I know what you're saying, because that's like a little tendency he's got. That's all I think about straight away.
Know what I'm saying?
And he knows it as well. And now he's just,
I just do pick on you now.
now you just like picking on me. How are you picking on me by saying, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Because I know it makes you laugh.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying?
Know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying. I know what he's saying.
Know what I'm saying?
Know what you mean?
All right, that's enough. So Mario Kart Tour, that comes out in a week, guys. I know you're not excited, and I know you don't give a crap. But and I'm like, yeah, I'll play it. I want to see what it's like. But it got a live action trailer, which it's about half a minute. It's quite funny, quite well done, and whatever.
Featuring, in Drew's words, the worst power up in Mario Kart, the Mega Mushroom.
Yeah, the Mega Mushroom. Yeah, so they've shown sort of like the items that will be used in the game. And it's actually pretty cool too. Like, this is one cool thing about the game, is that special items from Mario Kart Double Dash are returning in Mario Kart Tour. So every item every character in Double Dash got their own exclusive item. Like Yoshi got his big egg that he threw, Mario got his fireballs which he spread out, and Donkey Kong got his huge banana and all that. And on Twitter they announced basically like all these items are returning in this game.
Hooray.
Which would be cool,
Hooray.
but I can see it being used as like another microtransaction, just sort of gimmick. Like you've got to like roll to get the item or something like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess, but like even with Pokemon Masters, like when I talked about it the other week, because I smashed through it or whatever, I just feel like with Pokemon Masters, it's like, okay, maybe, yeah, I guess, like, microtransactions, that make sense here. I just feel like the things that you'll be rolling for in Mario Kart Tour are kind of just ridiculous. I mean, what was it the other day? There was a bug that happened with the Masters.
Okay, I haven't heard about it.
We got compensated 20 free rolls.
Okay.
So, and that was like, okay, cool. And guess what happened in those 20 free rolls?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I
okay.
got 2 new characters and 18 duplicates.
Wow.
18 duplicates. And I don't have the whole roster. I've got like 45 out of 60 something.
It's not too bad, though.
I've got 18 duplicates. 18.
18. Well,
I feel like me being in with Mario Kart Tour. It's just like, all right, I roll a duplicate. It's like, hooray! I didn't get a new racer. I really want that Rosalina, but I don't want to pay like $45 for 10 rolls and not get Rosalina, which is like the only character I want to play in Mario Kart anyway.
Yeah.
Don't.
But Bryce, it's about a sense of accomplishment when you unlock your favorite racer.
Nothing is accomplished when you're spending money doing it.
Yeah. Just death stare at me. All right, yeah.
Mario Kart Tour is either going to be very meh or stupidly disappointing. I don't think there's really going to be anywhere in between there. Just if you're playing Mario Kart, guys, you know, you're probably better off just do it on the Switch. You've got a Mario Kart there with, you know, heaps of characters. They're all unlocked. Plenty of courses. They're all unlocked. You know, battle courses, they're unlocked. Online play, that's unlocked.
Don't have to pay anything extra.
It's all unlocked.
But to be fair, you got to spend $80 on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and think about how many rolls you'll get for your characters in World Tour.
Shut up.
Just think about that. You get a few rolls there. You know, you just might get lucky and get that nice character. You know what I mean?
You don't get lucky. I play gacha games.
You don't get lucky.
I've played plenty of gacha games. You don't get lucky. It doesn't exist.
It's just skill.
Look, it's like, oh, you want to get the guaranteed roll in Pokemon Masters. It's like, okay, here's your conditions. You have a week to get your guaranteed roll. You can pick whatever 5-star you want, but do you know how much money you need to spend within those 7 days to get that one pick a character? It's like $1,500.
That's good odds. Good value. I like it.
$1,500.
That's a good use of money.
Especially
for people in vulnerable situations, like people who might be playing that game would be.
People who are addicted to gambling. You know, $1,500 for a Masters character.
Just imagine like walking into a casino, get a poker table, get a blackjack table, and then just a smartphone with Pokemon Masters.
Yeah. At the Crown Casino. Like, I'm sorry, sir, you didn't roll Crash Awake. You will have to pay us several $1 million.
I'm sort of thinking about like you go to Woolworths and you can put the money in and get like one of those balls and you undo it and it's like a little giraffe or something like, oh cool. It's like that but on your phone and Pokemon Masters.
Cynthia, I already got a Cynthia.
It's just chuck her in the Cynthia drawer. With all these Cynthia in there.
Far more expensive though.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's like you buy 10 of those little ball things from the shop, which are literally gachapons, by the way.
Yeah.
You spent $20, you got 10 little figurines. It's like, yeah, they're random, they're physical. It's like, cool. You want 10 rolls in Pokemon Masters, spend $50, so that's double the price plus some. They're not physical and they're subject to die eventually.
Oh.
10 years time, 10 years time, there might not be Pokemon Masters anymore. Then where's your money gone?
Yeah, there won't be Pokemon Masters anymore.
They'll have downgraded. Somebody's taken their place.
Just where all your money went from Pokemon Duel, which disappeared.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Difference is Pokemon Duel was actually a very interesting and provoking game. This isn't as interesting.
Yeah. So, this is just a little thing I want to bring up. So, in Taiko Drum Master, what is it? Oh no, I've lost
You're getting 3 Undertale DLC songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't need to Google that shit.
Nah. I just thought I'd bring it up because there's lots of sort of... I guess Toby Fox is doing like a lot of things with Japanese developers.
Yeah.
Obviously in Smash, and he's doing the soundtrack for Town and all that. It's cool that he's sort of... I guess this game's getting some love from different collaborations in Japanese games.
Well, his game's become a cultural phenomenon ever since it come out. And then... What was that? I'd like to say about a year ago. Maybe, where it was completely translated to Japanese, and then then the Japanese market obviously had their time with it, and they're like, "Oh my god, it was a good game." And
Oh my God.
now he's in the industry and he's doing all sorts of different things. And good on him, because Undertale was a great experience for what it is, and he's still working on Deltarune, and that'll be its own thing. But it's good to see that like somebody who can create something that's as impactful as that was sort of in the industry, because he's a very creative mind, and the game that he made was a very creative one in general. To be able to pull that in the Japanese market is a big thing, because obviously they're salarymen, they work 70 hours a week, and you've really got to have the talent to keep a job like that. And this guy has just come over. He's like, yes, I've made this little RPG, and it's just blown up, and it's been good for him, I guess.
Yeah. And what was it? It's on sale on the Switch at the moment too. It's like $15 something.
Yeah.
So,
is it?
Yeah, it's on sale for about $7 off something. So if you're looking for the game on Switch, it's probably a good time to buy it now.
Yeah, it's not for a very long though.
It's until the 30th.
Is it?
So you got a week or two. Yeah.
I mean, pick it up. It's a good game. If you really like stupid Earthbound humor, you're in for a good time. Yeah, that's what it is. So.
Yeah. So there's been a Pokemon that's been teased on the official Pokemon website. Have you seen much of this, Bros? I know you saw this just before Dan.
Plenty.
I've seen too much. I've been trying to go in blind.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. Just go. Well, I guess I can, but just go like when they announce a game, it's called Sword and Shield, and just like literally play it there without knowing anything, and like seeing the starters for the first time as you're choosing them. And that I think that'd be so cool. But obviously you're not that blind.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen more than I would have liked. Nintendo have a tendency to show far too much of their games. I'm following basically all of their socials, because if I don't, it's going to get shoved down my throat. You can even see this with like Link's Awakening coming out next week, and they've basically gone through on like their Facebook account for Zelda and just basically gone through every area on the island, most of the NPCs, and it's just like just leave a little bit to explore. I want to have that again with Sword and Shield, so I've tried to blank all the socials that have Pokemon content.
Okay, this particular Pokemon then, Dan, do you mind us discussing it?
Well, I already know about it, so go on.
Okay, all right. So
It's a fighting type.
this thing looks like a far-fetched evolution. Just saying.
Yes, and its ability is Steadfast. And that's pretty much what we know about it.
Yeah, and it's a glitchy mess, and if you open the Pokemon page, it played a Rotom sound for some reason, and the glitchy mess was just on the banner at the top of the page.
Mystic No confirmed.
Yeah.
And then you get 128 Master Balls.
But seriously, it's a bird with a long staff that looks like Farfetch'd Leak and a shield. I'm more than certain it's Surfetched.
Surfetched, Knight of Leak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Surfetched. I'm almost certain. Especially since what was it? There was something that was said. When was it? I think it was a couple of weeks back. Something after the Zigzagoon stuff, obviously, where they're just like, oh, somebody put it out there. They're just like, oh, more Pokemon will see some sort of treatment like that. And obviously, people have been like, why doesn't Farfetch get any love? He's the most useless little bird ever. He's just got his little leak and he can't do anything. So obviously, I think they're trying to sort of give him something here.
Give him a staff that shoots lasers.
Well, he's a fighting type, Drew. He'd smack people with the stick.
Ooh.
But Bryce, giving him an evolution, that seems a bit far-fetched, don't you think?
Oh,
That's awful.
that is awful.
You're welcome, dear listeners.
Get off of our podcast, you dirty guest.
You make more puns than me, and I'm a dad.
Is puns just a dad thing?
It's in the book of dad jokes.
No.
Wouldn't expect you to know.
No, I'm not a dad. I don't have a dad book joke. Dad book joke? What the hell am I on about? So, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate grabs multiple awards at the Tokyo Game Show. So, the excellent and feature pack Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch received multiple awards today at the Tokyo Game Show 2019. So, obviously, it's not today, but this was last week sometime. The game received the following awards: Game of the Year, Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry Award, Best Sales Award, and the Award of Excellence. Mr. Sakurai was thankfully on hand to pick up the awards. It wasn't just Super Smash Bros. Which came away as a winner, as Labo received as a special award. So yeah.
Can we just address what the hell is a Minister of Economy Award and why does it apply to Smash Brothers?
You know what? I got no idea. No idea. That's what it says here.
Listen, I loved this game. The Emperor of Japan comes out. He's like, I love this game so much. It is now my Minister of Economy.
I'm just highlighting it now, and I'm going to run it through. So what people ask, what is Ministry of Economy? A Ministry of the Economy, Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Economic Affairs, or Department of Commerce is part of the government in most countries that is responsible for the matters related to the economy.
Alright, so I guess the Emperor named Smash Brothers is Minister of Economy.
Did that clear up anything?
No.
So to my understanding, Super Smash Brothers is now the treasurer of Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
fantastic. Congratulations, Super Smash Bros.
It's a bold move, giving a ministerial position to a video game, but we'll see how that pays off for them.
Well, you know, people have made animals the mayor of their towns before. I'm pretty sure this could work out. You know, the cat that's a mayor of a town, he's really fat. Yeah. Can't remember what the town was called. Couldn't tell you, but yeah.
Nah.
They just decided they didn't need a mayor, so they made a cat the mayor.
Probably just Meow.
Tomcat USA.
There you go. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, well done to Smash for picking up those awards. It was quite good because it actually cleaned up. And as you guys know, I know, Bryce, you've watched Sakurai's speech when he went up to claim the award. Have you watched it, Dan? Sakurai's speech?
I've not, unfortunately.
Dan.
Just a filthy, dirty guest.
Just a filthy, dirty guest. Yeah, so this was like...
give him a scrub after this one.
It was a really nice speech, sort of how he's talking about that it was his last project from Iwata and... You know, he put his heart and soul into it, and I think it really meant a lot, him going up there and picking up this award. And as fans of this game and of him and the team that's made these games, it was really, heartwarming to watch him take this up, man.
Yeah, he really emphasised that, Iwata's been his long-time friend in the industry and really gave him his first shot and really... pushed the message that he was somebody that he looked up to and was also, one of his closest co-workers, and they had a lot of faith in each other. So when this was sort of asked by Iwata as his last request, he was like, yes, of course, my friend type of deal. And now obviously this last request has not only been fulfilled, but it's also become one of the most successful games for... the console.
Well, it's on track to become the best-selling fighting game of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you know what the most selling fighting game of all time is?
Melee.
No, it's Brawl.
Really?
Yeah. So it's got to beat Brawl.
I'm pretty sure it beat Brawl.
Yeah.
Beat Brawl.
Beat Brawl. As much as I love Brawl, I know that it has its flaws.
Oh yeah.
And I know that ultimately a better game.
Jesus, you're not even trying at this point. No. Disgusting.
I wasn't even trying to make that pun. I just realised as I was saying it, I'm like,
oh.
Right, that was gross. Bad taste in my mouth. Anyway,
have a swig of fur if you get rid of that. Oh, Jesus. That was be nice.
Have a swig, not a slur.
But I don't think it'll have any trouble beating it at all, especially with all the good news that's come out with Smash recently. It's just sort of the thing.
Yeah, and I guess what it shows me after seeing this and the announcement that there's going to be more characters past the Fighters Pass this year, it really feels like Sakurai is like putting his all into this, obviously putting his all into it as before the game up to launch. And now post game content, he put his all into the 5 characters, the stages, the music, the Undertale stuff. It's just getting pumped in there. Each update There's more modes in there. We've just seen home run contests come back, and Dan and I were playing that yesterday, and we failed at it a lot.
Yeah, we were dreadful.
Yeah,
but it was good fun.
Yeah, good fun.
And just times we hit the sandbag the wrong way, or it just flopped off the stand. But you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, quite often it just flopped off the stand, and But yes, seeing this game like just get better and better, and it doesn't look like it's really going to be stopping anytime soon. And they also, Sakurai also come out and said, he's not working on any other game. He's still full time on Super Smash Bros. Which, with a lot of titles, you would think like someone in Sakurai's position where they're moving, I think they'll move on to like directing their next game, but also being like having their hand in sort of the characters and sort of keeping that going.
Yeah.
But it's still full-time Smash. Like Smash is obviously a super important part of the business for Switch. It's going to be in the top 3 probably forever, maybe, unless it gets pushed down by like a big Mario title or something like that. But it's going to be right up there for them, and just
Pokemon might knock it down.
Yeah. I don't know where it is at the moment, but it was like 13 million, like pretty quickly, which is crazy how quick it went up there.
Mario Kart 8, is it like something insane, like 18 million?
Yeah, it's about 18 million. It's number 1 selling game on Switch, which is well deserved. I love that game as well. But so where do you reckon the sort of the characters in that are going to go? Like, I really want to see this game keep being supported and all that.
Well, if there's anything that's sort of come up with it in the last few days, there was two blank spots on the website, and there's probably going to be more. But I mean, we'll see with it. I just kind of hope they keep doing the outlandish stuff. I'm not sure they'll do a Fighters Pass Season 2 or anything like that. I think at the end of the day, it'll be mostly dependent on.
I think they want to be flexible. They don't want to lock themselves down to 5. It's like we could see this. We could see this character, and just release him maybe by himself as time goes on.
Well, that's what we're going to see after Terry. After Terry's actually released and we've got one fighter left.
Yeah.
We're going to see literally like news come out, I guess, of how many they're expecting, or just a general threshold, or whether we're going to have to pay more or something like that. So I suppose it's a wait and see. But yeah.
Who do we think will get in?
Got no idea at this point.
Could it be Waluigi time?
No.
No.
Actually, Dan, who would you like to see in Smash Bros. Who hasn't been announced or shown yet? You a big Terry fan? You happy Terry's there, or do you know who Terry was?
He's from Undertale, yeah.
He's from Undertale, yeah. Terry from Undertale. He's the protagonist. The one with the skull.
Yeah.
Oh, big hard question. Sorry, Dan.
I was
put him on the spot here.
Do we think it could be someone from one of the new Pokemon games, or even though there's already probably an over-representation, or
I don't know,
or another Fire Emblem character?
See, who knows?
I could see Byleth getting in.
I could see them being like, all right, we're going to open up for more slots because we want the most recent Fire Emblem protagonist or one of the house members. Like someone was saying, I forgot, this was on a podcast, I forgot what podcast it was, so I can't shout him out. But they said like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a new Fire Emblem character and there was just basically 3 echoes of all the house leaders? I'm like, oh, that would be cool. A lot of work for Sakurai and the team, but that would be very cool.
Yeah, but I feel like they're all very different characters. Anyway.
Yeah, they are. Like, obviously one's a magic user, one's just a swordsman, and
one's axe, one's lance, one's bow.
Yeah. So
and one is objectively better than the others.
Yeah. Yes.
I honestly think they'll keep to their current status of collaborating.
Yeah, and I hope they do too.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're going to see any Nintendo related DLC per se. I think there's probably going to be more input from Xbox, Microsoft in general, I guess.
Someone like Conker, maybe.
Clippy the Paperclip from Microsoft Word, 1995.
I would not be against that. I would not.
New main.
New main Cliffy. Hi, can I help you with your document?
See,
Can I help you with your death?
see, you laugh at that, but he's just probably as dumb as Game & Watch and like some of these other characters that made it in, you know?
I think it's very possible we could see, you know, like Master Chief be in there, being literally their flagship mascot for the longest time, and being a huge part of gaming history. We might even see some input from Sony. Who knows? We might, you know, get Jack and Daxter or something. Or...
I think Nintendo would be open to that at this point, but I don't think
so either.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
Yeah.
But it could. The thing is like when everything sort of comes into the fold, we had the cross platforms play thing happen, and they've just had to collapse in because people are just like, don't be fucking dumb.
It's going to be the Fortnite guy.
Yeah, it's going to be Fortnite guy.
It's going to be the battle bus.
The battle bus, that'd be cool.
No, it's going to be the
I'm joking. Yeah, that would be cool.
Spooky skeleton skin.
Yeah, see, yeah, it'd be really cool if like we did get someone big from like the competitors, say Xbox and PlayStation. Obviously, we can see there's a very real possibility if Nintendo wanted it that they could get someone like Master Chief or big Microsoft character who isn't just like, you know, like Banjo, who is basically still associated with Nintendo from Nintendo 64 games, but get someone like Master Chief.
It's been such a wholesome launch.
See, with Crash Bandicoot, that would be sort of like taken from the old PlayStation days, but it being Activision now and all of his games are on Switch, it's not really the same as like someone who's like you're probably not going to see a Halo game on Switch. You know, even if it's just for the fact that they probably won't run very well on Switch, but it would.
We could say Spartan Assault and stuff on there.
Or
yeah, but
with the Witcher coming out on Switch, Geralt.
Yeah, you could say someone like Geralt or someone.
Yeah.
Would definitely fit with the tone of the game completely.
I mean, he's got a sword, so he'll fit right in.
Plenty of them Smash Brothers.
Just reskin Link and you're good. Actually, one of the you could do like side B and your horse Roach just runs out and you can't control it and it just hits everybody.
It's just like winds howling.
I'm hoping we get Shantae in there.
Yeah, Shantae.
Shantae is such a like hidden bit of Nintendo history, being in like on like the Game Boy Color, but people not really paying attention to the fact. And it's like when Way Forward rebuilt that, obviously in the more modern day, they're just like, oh, people are like, oh, it's a new character, new game, and it's like, no, it's actually been existent since the Game Boy Color.
Yeah. See, the more and more I think about it, like we talked about a similar conversation on an episode a few weeks ago, and I brought up Rayman, and I've been thinking about it more and more. I'm like, oh god, I would actually love Rayman in the game. Like in Rayman Legends, like there's a soccer ball mini game. There's different mini games, and it kind of is like obviously it's a 2D. It kind of becomes like a 2D fighting game in some respects. It's not very deep, obviously.
I think we're more likely to get Rabbids at this point, and that makes me sad. I hope we don't get Rabbids.
Yeah,
Minions.
Oh god, because if they do go to Ubisoft, and it's like, well, we've just had this huge crossover game with Rabbids, why don't you take Rabbids? It's like, well, you know, I want Rayman because he's a respectable young man,
and not one of these teenage hoodlum Rabbids.
He's literally the source of why Rabbids exist. So, Rayman.
I want Rayman. Ramon.
You're gonna get Glowbox instead.
Yeah, I'll take Glowbox. Glowbox is cool. Or what was their name from Legends? They introduced a new female character with the red hair. I've got a name. Something like Charlotte or something. Should be cool. Put her in. Just put all the Rayman characters.
Just put them all in.
Yeah.
Put them all in.
Minus the Rabbids.
Yep. Don't need any more of them.
I mean, yeah.
Rabbid Peach.
Just taking selfies, stuns them, and
Echo Fighters of all the fighters, but they're Rabbid versions.
So the thing is they've got to keep up with model consistency, like so the hitboxes are correct.
Could you
imagine? So you just get this really deformed, like looking Mario Rabbid.
Yeah. Or could you imagine that? Just like, hey, we're bringing out a few Echo Fighters. Every single character has a Rabbid Echo Fighter.
Can you imagine like a Ridley Rabbid?
Oh, every day actually.
Ridley's too big for Smash, so let's shrink him down to the size of Pichu and put a rabbit costume on him.
A rabbit costume on him.
Yeah, he's just trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Everybody else has become a rabbit. He's just trying to fit in.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, boys. Don't know how I feel about that at all. So, I know none of us have played Daemon X Machina.
No.
Actually, it's funny the other day. I got an email from Nintendo which said, "Oh, Daemon X Machina out now." I'm like, "Oh shit, really?" and for a first party Nintendo game, that's pretty shocking. So yeah, I just want to bring up sort of the Metacritic and how it's been reviewed. So it's sitting at a Metacritic score of 70, which is good. That's fine. It's not like a
literally fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run out and get it.
No.
Yeah. Like there's a demo which I haven't even been sort of drawn to play the demo yet. I don't know if any of you guys have played the demo.
No.
Nope.
No. So I've got intentions to play the demo. Just I haven't been.
The thing is,
gaming much last week.
We literally just got a few. That's the thing with it releasing now too. We literally just got a Future Punk game in Astral Chain, and it's also literally like one of the best rated Nintendo games this year. So just playing Astral Chain, I haven't haven't even finished Astral Chain yet, and I really want to finish Astral Chain. But Jesus, I can't say Astral.
Astral Chain, know what I'm saying?
Astral Chain, know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Don't know what you're on about.
But like, and I know they're sort of different in genre in some sort of aspect, but it's only like the only real difference for me, at least, is it's like, hey, it's either be a cop or be a mech. That's pretty much the extent of what I'm getting here, and I feel like Platinum already had my money anyway because it's Platinum, and Platinum make amazing games, so. I have zero desire to play Daemon X Machina in general, let alone go pick it up at this moment. Even if it was like, oh my god, 99, best mech game in years, beats Armored Core 7, it doesn't.
Yeah. I'll read out a few of like the closing statements for some of these reviews on Metacritic. So the highest score it got was from Sixth Axis, which gave it a 90 and says, Daemon X Machina sets the bar for robot action games. The addictive mecha fighting is almost flawless, but it's complicated by so many other incredible parts to the game. There's a rich, unique world with incredible customization, gorgeous virtuals, and a draw-dropping soundtrack. Daemon X Machina really rarely stumbles, and even when it did, I couldn't help but be impressed by this amazing new experience. When we go down to My Nintendo News, which gave it a 70, they say, with an intriguing story, pretty solid gameplay, vigorous customization, various customization options.
Vigorous.
Yes, and a promising online component, Daemon X Machina is a welcome addition to the arsenal of third-person shooters on Nintendo Switch. All in all, it's a fresh take for Nintendo fans, and for the most part, an enjoyable experience. So it's sort of sitting at like it's got to be a sort of genre that you enjoy to enjoy it, and it's not going to win you over if it's not something you enjoy, and it's probably not going to be the best mech game either if you're really deep into that sort of game. But
sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's just going to be like a game. I'm going to play the demo, and I'm probably going to get my fix from the demo. Because, like, to be honest, I only want like half an hour. But, oh yeah, I know what this game is. And who knows, the demo might really catch me when I get around to playing it. But
I feel like if you're a fan of mechs, the best place to start probably is the Armored Core series.
Yeah.
But if
you want something on Switch, though.
Yeah, if you want something on Switch, I guess, maybe, but...
He's shrugging for audio listeners, which is everyone.
I know. Well, I was going to go,
Oh, that's okay then.
You know what I'm saying, Drew?
I know what you're saying. They don't. They can't see you.
I know. That's why I said
But you didn't say I cut you off.
I was getting there. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it's...
It's
Okay, I quit. See you later, boys.
See you, bros. Bye.
I'm back with my shitty opinion.
You're not gone yet?
And one more thing. Well, that's exactly right. It could be a decent game for people who are into the genre, I guess.
He guesses.
I guess. But the thing that really made me worried about it in the beginning anyway was just them, and sincerely, I'm happy they did it because then the game obviously benefited from it. But when they were like, we need your help to test the game, so they had multiple betas and all that, and that sort of took away my confidence in what they were doing. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, please elaborate on what you're saying so I better understand what you're saying. Please, Bryce.
That's this entire, yeah.
That's the title of the episode, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying. Good.
And people go to download it. What the fuck?
It's a little telling when you have to release a couple betas and then get a whole full like feedback from the people that play the demo in order for you to be like, oh, okay, you know, we'll make these changes, we'll do these things. It sort of just says, are you understaffed, or are you just not thinking over it very well, or do you not know what you want in the game? Do you know what people are going to enjoy, or do you want this game bug tested? Do you know, there's a lot of little factors in there that make me sort of unconfident that this game is going to absolutely blow me away like something like Astral Chain recently has, or...
Yeah. You could sort of tell that they were a bit worried about it too, because for the pre-orders on the eShop, they had 10% off.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're a Nintendo fan, you probably know that Nintendo doesn't really put their published games for pre-order discounts ever.
Never.
Like, you're not going to get a pre-order discount for Link's Awakening. You're not going to get a pre-order discount for Pokemon. Mm-hmm. So when I saw 10% off for this, I'm like, they're thinking like, we're going to have a bit of trouble selling this one compared to the rest of our games. But
yeah, because it was like, wasn't the first reveal of it literally like a starting note point? Like, say, Overwatch was the other week with the Nintendo Direct, where it was the first thing shown.
Yeah, it was at E3 last year.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
And I remembered expecting something a lot bigger. Then I got this thing that just kind of made me shrug and be like, all right, that's a thing.
Yeah. Because when it first came out, like for the trailer, we're like, yeah! Like the music pumping and like sort of how they edited together all the gameplay. Like, yeah! And now it's here on the 13th, and it's been a couple of days now. Well, we're pretty much just... you know, not worrying about even picking it up.
Yeah.
No.
And it's also sort of, I feel like it's really poor timing on Nintendo's behalf. Been like, they're putting it out a week before a Zelda game. They're putting it out a week before new hardware. They're putting out
a week before Untitled Goose Game.
They're putting out not long after a game that's going to cannibalize it because it's obviously better quality and more appealing and by a known developer. Like, there's just lots of factors going to this, which is, it's going to just, even people who are like, oh, I really want it, but they're not going to pick it over Zelda. They're not going to pick it over Astral Chain even. So, yeah, it's going to be... I'll probably end up picking up eventually, but that's only if there's like a dry spell next year. That's relying on a dry spell next year.
Let's put it this way. I picked up SNK Heroines the other day.
Oh, cool.
So, literally the only SNK fighter on the Switch that's not an Arcade Neo Geo experience.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll pick it up because it's always dirt cheap. Like, literally, I think I got it for $20 and it's brand new, which is saying something for a Nintendo game.
A physical copy?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. $20, brand new.
What was that, by the way? EB? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
$20. It was great. And like, it's not even too bad of a fighter. It's really basic, but like, there's a little bit of complexity to it. Mm-hmm. But it is very fan servicey. Like,
oh yeah, well,
out of the crack box, whatever, something like that. With that kind of confidence level that they're like 10% off pre-order, let's go. You know, we want this game bug tested, beta goes out, demo goes out, all this stuff. Like, I'm worried that, and especially it being cannibalized by literally every other game in this month, which is a shit ton of them, that it might get to that point where it ends up on that same shelf line as like SNK Heroines, where it's like 50% off price title. It was like $50 if you bought it off sale, or something like that.
We'll just see if it can go down that cheap, it being a Nintendo published game. Like, is really jarring seeing Mario and Rabbids being like discounted down to like $20. It's really jarring seeing Mario at a low price, but it's because Ubisoft, their games come out and the next month they're like, it's disposable. We're moving on to the next live service, so it's cheap. Like, I think there is a thing to like, it's nice being able to pick up, say, Ubisoft titles for cheap, like the next, like at the end of the year or something. But there is something to Nintendo games holding their value, and it's not great if you're like, I'm going to buy a Switch and I want to pick up 5 games because you're going to be spending a lot. But it is nice them holding their value, and in a few years you look back on Breath of the Wild and it's still full price, and while you'll be like, I just want to pay $30 for it if you're jumping into it, it is good, so holding its value, so it's not just disposable, which a lot of games are becoming now. Like, you've got even like the services, you got Games Pass now. You're just like, just download everything, don't care about it, just play it, poop it out. You got Ubisoft games which are just cheap in the bargain bins. You're seeing a lot of EA games which is just last year's football game, and Anthem, which is $19 because it's rubbish, in the bin, literally picking it up out of the trash for exchanging of a red note.
It's on the shelf for 2 weeks before it was $19.
Yeah, and while Nintendo games, it is annoying. It's like, all right, I've got to open up my wallet a bit more. At least they're quality, and you know what you're going to get for the most part if it's got Nintendo on it. And a lot of people say, the watermark of like the quality of seal isn't what it used to be. It's like, it's not what it used to be, but it's still a lot better than what you're going to get elsewhere.
And when what it used to be is games in the discussion for best game of all time, that's still kept coming down from that. Still is a quality game.
And I feel like the only other sort of publisher you'll be confident to buy games from would be like Sony. Like, that if it's got Sony like entertainment on that, so, all right, I know that's going to be a very high quality game. And they have duds like Days Gone, which was still like a decent game. And Nintendo's obviously got stuff which is lower quality like that as well coming out. But so they're sort of the only publishers I'm like really confident when I'm buying a game and I don't know much about it, would be Nintendo and Sony. Then the rest are just I don't know how we went on this rant, but
I love how you said Nintendo and Sony, and then you failed to mention like Xbox at all, even though you're like this big Forza fan.
Well, with Xbox, it's not always guaranteed. Like, you've got like Crackdown, which was like, if you see Microsoft Studios and you buy Crackdown, you're like, There's been a few duds in there. Yeah. Obviously,
I think there's duds in every library.
Yeah,
Because Gears 5 coming out this week, come to amazing reception.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm keen to play that.
I'm not even a great Gears fan.
Yeah, I'm not particularly either, but
yeah, looks pretty good. I just feel like the difference is that because Microsoft have a smaller library in terms of like these two other publishers, that when one of theirs goes south, it shows out a lot more.
Yeah, because they're relying on each game has to make more of an impact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whereas like with Nintendo, at least these days, maybe not in the Wii U days. If Link's Awakening comes out, it sucks. It's like, we've got something else next month. It's all right, boys. calm your farm.
It's literally
put your cows back in the bloody thing.
Like we thought year one of like Switch was just going to be untoppable. It was like completely unbeatable. Mario and Zelda in the same year, both absolutely stellar games. The best selling game on the system was that year. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2. We had ARMS. That was a bit of a flop. As much as like I enjoyed ARMS, it didn't do too well.
No, I wouldn't say it was a flop because it still sold a couple of million. It's new IP.
In comparison to everything else that year.
It was cannibalized by Splatoon, but yes. It didn't. It was the worst, I guess, first party game. But I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed ARMS. Yeah. But I'm saying like it. Yeah, it's just one of those things. But then coming around to like this year, even like all the way up to this year. This year's been like, we don't have Mario or Zelda. We've got Pokemon at the end of the year, but then we've got like Luigi's Mansion game, and then we've had Fire Emblem, which after the last 2 sets of games, so Fates and Shadows of Valentia, did not do too well at all. And Three Houses have come out. That smashed it. Completely brand new Platinum IP that's not Bayonetta 3, by the way, is completely smashing it. And, it just seems like every year they've like rubbed the lamp of a genie and they're like, please just let us smash it. And
Please let us smash it.
Every year they're just smashing it.
Well, they smashed it last year. They brought out Smash.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
Because even with last year, like, it was a bit lighter year. There's a few ports at the start, but I know for us, it just felt like a huge year just because the whole year was just
building to one
just
thing.
building characters up to Smash Ultimate, which was in December. So, and I know, like, for example, Luke, he's not a Pokemon fan. He's not a Smash fan. I'm like, oh, wasn't much for you last year. But for us, like, Pokemon and Smash are like my top two favorites franchises, let alone Nintendo franchises. So last year was a big year. Now it's like there isn't one game where I'm like as excited as I was for Smash, but there's still like there's more quantity this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for me anyway. I know, like, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, obviously there was that, and yeah.
It's just absolutely crazy this year. There's no Mario or Zelda, but the quality of games that are coming out this year are just as on par as, like, in terms of scores and general enjoyment of people. The games coming out this year are just absolutely killing it. And Fire Emblem went through its own sort of really big evolution in terms of what kind of a game it is, and that's awesome because it's something that Zelda and Mario went through year one on how those games are approached. So Zelda went back to more of its big, this is an open world, and then Mario went back to like it's 3D but with a lot more variety in how you approach it.
Yeah.
And then Fire Emblem's come up now. It's like now you've got things to do with your characters outside of battle that just aren't like that's the only way to raise their supports. It's you've got the tea parties, and then you've got making food together, eating together. You go fishing. You can go
like specifying what class you want to take them in outside of battle and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Fire Emblem went through an amazing evolution this year, and it was the one game this year that was like, this game needs to go up a stage, and it killed it. And now everything else that's sort of hit hard this year, it's all been new stuff pretty much for the most part. We'll see what happens with Pokemon and Luigi's Mansion at the end of the year, I guess, considering all the controversy around Pokemon and, Luigi's Mansion. As much as, like, I think it looks good, I feel like it's being overshadowed a lot. Because obviously Pokemon's coming. It's
flown under the radar a fair bit. Yeah. It looks great, and it's kind of hard to market too, because there's different... Each level's a different theme. It's like, cool. Kind of expected that.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it all just to be the same. Be a bit weird.
Yeah.
And like, there's mini games, and I think for the most part, it's like, oh, that's a great bonus, but I'm not buying it for that. And how much I'll use that over all my other multiplayer games, don't know about that either. But, but yeah. And it's no secret I'm really looking for the Pokemon. Dan's looking for the Pokemon. He doesn't. Do you know who Corviknight is, Dan? Am I spoiling that for you, mate?
Is that Skarmory wannabe?
Yes.
Skarma wannabe?
Skarmory pre-evolution, even though they're the same size.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. Have you finished your beard, Dan?
A while ago.
Yeah, you're a thirsty little attacker, aren't you?
I've been contemplating open up another one, but...
But what? Yeah, here we go. Oh, been ASMR. Oh,
beautiful.
Beautiful.
You're gonna have to walk home now, Dan. I'll psych you into that one. Too bad, mate.
Too bad. I'm sleeping on your couch.
Oh. Oh. All right. So, anything else you guys want to talk about, or you want to wrap up the episode here, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty wrapped. We're ready for work tomorrow.
I'm pretty wrapped. Oh, yeah,
I'm wrapped to finish up here.
Breaking the fourth wall here.
A fourth wall.
Yeah, I'm actually not just I'm not just the person who sits at their chair until it's necessary to require a podcast. I actually need to go home and wash my clothes.
You mean to say you're not an NPC?
No.
Imagine
you can play me.
Wouldn't that be useful if you just had like a podcast NPC who just sits there at the microphone, and when you're ready, you just sit down and talk to them?
Hell Hell yeah.
But they say the same thing every episode because it's just pre-written dialogue.
That is great.
What a story, Mark.
The air is tasty here. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario, episode 115. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and leave a review on your podcast player of choice. It all helps the algorithms and all that weird stuff I don't really understand, but I'm told it's important by the internet.
Yes.
The internet tells me lots of things, and I follow it all. It never lies, the internet. Did you know that, Dan?
I did know that.
Yeah,
Google
well,
never lies, and it's telling me Abraham Lincoln's going to be the next president.
Oh, right. Well, that's probably right. Bryce, if someone was to say, I'm on this website and the icon's a blue bird, if I was and I want to find Bryce DeWitt's profile, what would that be?
At IV Revan, I suppose.
And you can find me on the Blue Bird website at iDrewby, and the one with the F, which is also blue, but it's a bit darker. You can find me at iDrewby there as well. And the one with the camera, and it starts with Insta, and it ends with.
He's plugging everything, ladies and gentlemen.
And it ends with the weighing metrics of grams.
Metric boys.
Yes, I'm iDrewby there as well. Now, Dan, do you want people to find you, or do you just want to hide in your little wombat hole?
Well, I quite like my little wombat hole, but I'm on the Instagrams at DTradRay45, as in the Discord. That's the other blue one with a little alien-looking dude.
Yeah, if you want to talk to
His
Dan...
name is Wampus, Dan. Learn your Discord lore.
And if you want to talk to myself, Bryce, or Daniel in the Discord, there's an invite in the show notes. And now, Dan, you've got the Nintendo jukebox. Oh, Dan, is your internet not working? I tell you
God
what.
is a DJ, Dan is a chance for...
I may have run out of credit during the taping of this episode.
You're shitting me.
What things you run out of credit?
You ran out of credit.
But we do have a remix from Fire Emblem Three Houses
Oh, God.
in honor of what I've sunk over 100 hours to in this past couple of months.
Oh, well, there you go.
The link to it will be in the show notes.
I'm glad the artist got all the shout-outs there.
Listen, artist, we love you, okay? Please, come back. Baby, come back. Any kind of fool would see.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've failed you all.
How are you not connected to the Wi-Fi? I think that's like the thing that's more upsetting.
I mean, I'm here like once every 6 months.
Yeah, but...
All right, well, we'll let it slide. He brought the beer, so... Anyway,
the
guys...
next time, Dan, we have a shotgun in the back. It's
Whoa.
for putting down people, alright?
Putting down people. Jesus. To be fair, I don't have a shotgun. I don't have a gun license.
Oh.
So.
But he does have 2 arms. Biceps.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would never say I have guns.
My next line was, oh...
I have arms, yeah, duh. I have a copy of Arms that's digital, and I'm going to smack it across your head. Anyway,
it's Springman.
all right. I've said anyway about 5 times. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi.